Uncaged is presented by Browning, the best there is, and by Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Zeiss, we make it visible. The Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio. Arctic Cat, share our passion. Cold Steel, world's strongest, sharpest knives. Otis Technology. Bog Pod. Yeti, wildly stronger, keep ice longer. And by Dallas Safari Club.
I'm Austin Manelik, and I'm an uncaged videographer. Matt Hughes and I actually met on the British Columbia black bear hunt. You may know me from National Geographic's Ultimate Survival Season 1, but my passion is hunting. I'm an Alaskan resident. I was born and raised in Alaska, and I learned how to hunt from my father, who was a master guide here back in the 80s. Basically, out of the womb, I was in the Alaska woods, and I was with him. We were chasing after all the big game species that Alaska has to offer.
He was the cameraman for Uncaged, and we got to talking, and he had said something about, hey, you can come up to Alaska, shoot a moose with me, and a moose has always kind of been on my bucket list. There's no kind of, it has been on my bucket list, and so we took him up on it.
To come on this hunt and to be a part of this DIY hunt with Matt Hughes is just an opportunity that you don't turn down.
What interested me the most about this is it's a do-it-yourself hunt. And a lot of people out there don't have the money to go out and employ a guide and a guide service and stay at a nice lodge and stuff like that. So, I am a blue-collar man at heart, and I wanted to see what it was like for people to go out, tent camp for 10 days and not have a guide and just rely on your buddy and some good scouting.
Here we go, 2014 Alaska moose hunt on Uncaged with the Sportsman's Channel, Matt Hughes, Austin Manelik, and it starts right now. JD Garza, if you're watching this, you're about to see the most out of control DIY moose hunt that has ever been edited or filmed. Guaranteed. This is a complete treat that we get to come along for the ride and help produce some award-winning footage. John Dykes is the videographer. I'm a videographer, and currently John's taking over the camera. He's filming, and usually I'm the one filming these Uncaged hunts, so I'm an Uncaged cameraman right now. I'm uncaged, I don't have a camera, I've got a rifle, and baby, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, my flights were all on time. My luggage arrived as it should have, so the trip actually started off great.
Matt's got no clue about the mobile man cave. He's gonna show up on the bus. I'm sure he's gonna be extremely surprised because he's got no clue how I DIY hunt Alaskan.
Austin picks me up on the inside, boom, there he's driving an old school bus, short bus, that he's converted into a hunting rig. And I'm loving it, this is great.
How you doing?
I guess I won't be the first to comment on riding a short bus, right?
Yeah, it's the mobile man cave. So I got my mobile man cave here, AKA the Wilderness Locker Room.
He's taken out several of the benches, got 3 sleeping spots, I believe, in there, bunk beds there on one side. And just, you can just tell these guys up here, some of them live to hunt.
We're here, we're in Alaska, and so it begins. Really, we're gonna go right now and go get your license at Walmart, if you're all right with that.
Yep.
There's a 24-hour Walmart in Wasilla. It's gonna take us about 40 minutes to get there. We'll buy the licenses, wake up early in the morning, get a shot and some breakfast, and head straight back to Lake Hood and take off tomorrow morning, early 30. We pick up Matt Hughes from the airport, the videographer and I, and go straight to the 24 hours Walmart so that we can get these animal tags as quickly as we can. We run into a problem that all DIY hunters face is, where are the tags? There was no tags at Walmart. What, asked if you guys had moose tags?
Yeah, or I should have checked. I don't know which is which, but...
No, it's all right, Sherry. Let's just get that. How much?
Okay, that's $85.
Matt comes here He's in Alaska, and immediately we get the first roadblock. It's all right. We will get another one, Sherry.
Okay.
We fly out the next morning with Sportsman's Air Service, and we don't even have Matt's tag. We wake up bright and early, we get to Sportsman's Warehouse, and thank you, Sportsman's. They had the tags that we needed, so Matt got his tags. We head to the Lake Hood, and we take off with Sportsman's Air Service. You can't hunt on the first day in Alaska when you fly out, so all we needed to do was set up the tent, start a fire, and just wait.
Whatever hell you hunt in, Browning's rugged, all-conditions Hell's Canyon technical clothing has everything you need to get there and back. Browning Hell's Canyon. See you there.
Uncaged is brought to you by Browning, the best there is.
So we pull up to Sportsman's Air Service, and it's a little different for me because when I think of taxi, I think of a yellow car driving around New York City. But up here, when you're moose hunting, a taxi is actually a plane that takes you out into the bush, drops you off, and then picks you up sometime down the road. We took off that first time. I loved to feel the horsepower of that motor, taking us off the water, putting us in the air. I had a window right there. We're close to the ground, and I can see around, and I just loved it. But for me, the plane ride was one of the highlights of the trip.
We take off with Sportsman's Air Service. You can't hunt on the first day in Alaska when you fly out, so all we needed to do was set up the tent, start a fire, and just wait. When we touched down on the plane, we touched down on the water, and then we started unloading. As soon as I stepped off the plane, I stepped on a sponge. And I didn't step off that sponge until I got back on the plane. I did some moving around of some stuff to just moving equipment around. Austin went and found a good spot, and boom, we had our campsite, and we really liked it. We're here. I guess we can't hunt today because we flew today, but we can sure find one for tomorrow morning. Austin had done some homework on where we were going to camp and where he thought there were moose. All right, so when you do get the opportunity, because it's going to happen, and When it does, we probably won't have too much time to communicate. Just like that bear in British Columbia, when you shot him again, and you shot him again until he stopped moving. Those moose, if you shoot them in a bad spot, they can run and be gone for miles. So shoot until we watch them go down. I don't think you got a problem with that.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind throwing copper.
All right, deal.
Everything I'm finding on the ground is wet. We got wood.
It's dinner time, and what better to go with dinner time than a little moose? And if we want, we can start making our lunches right now, and then just have them ready to go for the morning, and we just grab them and put them right into our bags.
Don't suppose when you guys landed you saw our camp?
That was another hunter that just came in, and he's trying to reserve this whole entire lake because he has his own airplane and he knows that there's a lot of really good bull moose in the area. So homeboy is trying to get this lake all to himself. But that's okay. All we need is one moose.
I feel real good about my combination here. Zeiss, no doubt, makes one of the best scopes out there. I can say this about all my sponsors. I'm very lucky with the product I've got. Zeiss makes me see my target. Browning shoots straight. My Hornady bullet knocks them down. So I got a heck of a combination.
Bull makes a noise that goes. Make this deep guttural noise where they're using their diaphragm. And they're just walking and going with their antlers, missing trees. And that's usually when they're following a cow.
This is my home for the next 10 days. You all might be wondering why I'm turning in when it's light outside. Well, it's 9 o'clock my time. Interesting hunt for me because I've never done any type of a tent camp like this. So it's I'm learning, and I like to learn. 40 years old and I still like to learn. But you know, hopefully some moose come in the next couple days and we can at least see some. I do have a black bear tag and a wolf tag. Doubtful I'll probably see a wolf, but they've already spotted some black bear on the mountain with the Zeiss spotting scope out there. So.
Made in America since 1949. Family owned and operated. Legendary performance. This is Hornady.
At the Wildlife Gallery, we understand the level of passion and commitment it takes to harvest that sought-after trophy. And we pour that same passion into each mount we create. No matter where your hunting adventures take you, you can trust the Wildlife Gallery to preserve your hard-earned trophies. This is the Wildlife Gallery, and these are your memories.
After a long hunt, the last thing you want to do is be stuck somewhere cleaning guns for a couple hours. This handed tool right here is the ripcord, and it is the newest invention from Otis Technology. One pass down the barrel, you're done. Brighten up the outside, put your gun away. First thing I do, make sure my gun is unloaded, bolts out, my magazine's out just to make it a little easier. The front end of my ripcord gets put down in the chamber. The start of the ripcord is long and narrow, so it'll go all the way to the end of your barrel and you can grab it. They call this the helix design. That's what gives your barrel 360 degrees clean. They've got the threaded forend to put your tool on the pull, and they've got a thread at the end. If I want, I can put a brush on to really loosen up some of that stuff in there. And if I want, I can put a wet patch on there. Ripcords come caliber specific, so they will clean correctly in every gun. The ripcord, another reason why Otis has done well with the ease of gun care.
This segment is brought to you by Dallas Safari Club.
Major differences is transportation and just the sheer logistics involved to get from point A to point B, be successful, and then get that animal from point B back to point A. And that is the hardest part. You're hiking on the quads God gave you, 2 horsepower, and that's the main difference. It's harder.
It's just like everything up here is when I step down, I create a hole, water comes over the top of my boot, and then there's water there until I take my foot up. And it's just a sponge around here. It's amazing what it's like.
Bar none, 100%, Alaska is harder. If you think you're an awesome Western game hunter, please come to Alaska. You will lose your mind in a good way because the challenge is like nothing else.
Flew in here last night. They got a law where when you fly in, you can't hunt the rest of that day. So did some calling and looked around, got camp set up. Today it's gun on the shoulder and looking for a moose. First day, Austin wanted to take a hike. He wanted to go up high and glass, and I agree with the idea.
Morning, Matt. How you doing?
Here's the first course.
The game plan was to get a vantage point and look out over the swamp, survey the area, and find out just what we were working with and hopefully spot a moose.
I'm used to being in the outdoors, so the landscape and everything's nothing new.
I've been born and raised in Alaska my entire life. I've lived here, and You know, fill the freezer with as much red meat and salmon as I possibly can. And, you know, Alaska is a very plentiful place for game, but you just got to know where you're looking. I think our closest knob or closest elevation is this left knob here, and I think the best way for us to get back there is just follow this dry little strip that we're on and just pop up on top. We'll glass there for the evening, stay there, and try to make it back to Tarp City before dark.
Go up high, look around. Things look different from elevation. Well, the plan went kind of good, kind of bad. We got wet, we got beat up, all the equipment got knocked and beat around. And
JD, we've lost Matt's Sennheiser host. The internal jack is loose and no longer picking up signal from the XLR, so Matt is now mic'd up and Austin's going to be on internal microphone.
We're walking out, spot and stalk, looking for game. And like I said, I had 3 tags: wolf, bear, and moose.
You know, Matt's really putting all of his gear to good use here, and he's using that Browning like it's never been used before.
I wouldn't say it was treacherous, but the first day was a pretty hard, I would say, pretty hard hike.
He's using that thing to fend off alders, just doing the Alaska Jungle Gym, trying to get up above tree line. And once we finally got up above tree line, we could use our binoculars to survey the area and find potential moose, or look for areas where there could be moose or bears or wolves. We're just trying to let the optics do the walking for us.
Of course, it was raining hard, wind was blowing. Not the best conditions, but we got up there, really couldn't see much because of the rain and the wind. But for the most part, we got up there, looked around, saw the area around us and different swamps and areas that we could possibly hunt.
We're losing light and we got to get back to camp here. We can hunt our way back.
Sounds like a good idea. We're a little ways away, so we've got a decent wind if we stay on that side to hunt back.
Yeah.
Closed captioning is provided by Bog Gear.
When you get an Arctic Cat, you're getting more than a machine. You're getting a commitment. A commitment to riding, to hunting, to farming, to the outdoors. A commitment to you. Ride a machine from a company whose only road is off-road. Arctic Cat, built right here. Share our passion.
Uncaged is brought to you by Cold Steel.
Austin told me right off the bat, before we even got licenses or anything, if we see a black bear and it does not have cubs, we've got to kill it. There's just too many of them in this area. We're, I think, 350 yards away. We close the distance. We get to 200 yards away, and the black bear spots us. Takes off running.
200. No, it's 100 yards. 100 yards. 100 yards. Matt! Ah! Oh my, Matt! Hit him again if you can, if he's on the ground. Don't let him move. Hit him again. I didn't even see him.
I pull the trigger, and then boom, I can't see the black bear anymore. I'm hoping it's a good shot, but maybe he went into a crevice or something where I can't see him. A little nervous because after I shoot, I want to see an animal laying there, and I can't see anything now. So I walked up to the bear, ended up getting the bear, 2.5-year-old bear, and like I said, it doesn't matter the age, they're just a real problem up here. Had to get rid of it.
Well, Matt, that was a heck of a shot.
Thank you. You know, when we were on the plane ride, the jumper ride here, you told me that if we saw a black bear without cubs, you've got to shoot it.
Yep.
Tell me why that is.
Well, in this unit, Unit 16, it's a predatory management unit. So for non-residents and residents, slightly different, but for a resident, such as myself, unlimited black bears in this area, 2 grizzly bears in this area, and a few years ago they used to have a trapping program where you could actually snare these bears. So this whole area has been depleted of moose as of 10 years ago, and now it's starting to rebound because of hunter management of game numbers.
This bear being down, even though it's not my biggest bear I've ever shot, a great day for conservation here in Alaska.
Great day. So
good deal, good deal.
Thank you very much, man.
We'll get him skinned out and get him back to the camp.
Yeah, great. Nice job.
Thank you. So we come down off the hill and we know that, you know, we're not going to get a moose every time we go up to elevation. It's supposed to be the rut here, so we're thinking we're going to call more, hunt the swamps. We see a lot of sign down in the swamps, a lot of tracks, scat. I mean, there's just a lot of sign.